cold again. The mutable energy in between cardinal and fixed. It hides. That's the magic of life. You don't really realize what it is until after you've had time to assess, to understand it through the felt presence of experience. One reason I haven't spoke much is because I trigger energies. I bring the shadow out. I feel it. I can't deny it. If I deny that, I deny myself. 50% of the equation. So in life, you learn how much to give, how much to take. And it's kind of strange because you don't actually know that it's happening until you've gone through it in life, experienced things, people, places, dynamics, found this hidden language in your experiences. Now I'll give you some insights through astrology here. My least aspected planet is Mercury, my lap. My most aspected is Saturn. That's my map, I guess. And they're in a loose square, or a building one, I should say. It's there. I also have Chiron conjunct Mercury, and I have it opposing Uranus on my AC/DC, so it's highly active. It's in a T-square with Saturn and Uranus. Pluto in the 12th, trining the moon in conjunct all this stuff on my AC. Conjunct Jupiter in the 8th. So that's an amplification of sensitivities. There's a reason I don't like to engage with people or be in relation to a lot of people. I don't want to take in that cycle, that circuit. But in life, we learn how to cultivate ourselves, how to be who we are without bending to another's will or their ignorance. But in order to do that, you have to realize your own ignorance and accept it as part of the process of learning. So what does all this language, all these static meanings in the dynamic actually tell us? It gives language to feeling. Eventually you forget the language because you no longer need it. Then you quit speaking upon it. Now what I speak is very authentic. I don't care if I'm wrong. That's how you learn. What I found out in life is that I'm not really wrong because no one's truly right. They're all growing and learning just like I am. And what they think to be a truth today changes tomorrow. And if they don't, then they are very strong in their ego. They're bound to the mental loops of holding image in relation to this static, the friction of relation. And that's why shit in life happens and events unfold and experiences rise and you don't expect it. It shakes you out of that hallucination. You learn. That's Uranus. I haven't been able to hide from that. I can't run from that. I can't deny that. So I've had to accept it. And the less I denied it, the more I accepted my own change, and I didn't need life experiences to do that to me. Will they? Have they? Of course. I mean, we're all still growing and learning. So let's talk about Gemini for a minute. I've got a Gemini moon. A lot of people, they don't like Gemini. They can't handle Gemini. They think it's a liar, a thief, weak, spineless, shifty, flighty, inconsistent, untrustworthy. It's because they put too much on them, generally speaking. Gemini will help you to understand your ego delusions. Now, I was blessed to have a few good Gemini friends growing up. I learned a lot about betrayal, not just from them, but from myself as well. I learned a lot about releasing things, the value of ignorance and curiosity, and the power of what potential is. I learned that images in this world are just cast reflections. The truth is always moving. It's bringing you through on the wake of reality. And as that wake unfolds, we wake. You see more of what is speaking to you beneath all the experiences and interactions. Beneath the words can only infer, the meanings come from you. I speak with meaning. People can't understand my meaning because they haven't gone through what I've gone through, seen what I've seen. They don't experience life like me. Just as I to them. So what do? You don't sacrifice your sense of self and the power that you hold through your experiences because it might offend or shorten someone else's perspective. So I'm learning not to care quite as much. Because that's the best thing for other people. If they feel angst, there's a reason. Something they've denied is gnawing at them. And I'm not saying I know, but I'm saying because I'm willing to embrace my ignorance, it triggers other people because they can't handle it. I can't sit with inauthenticity, and that's what life is. It's just an unfolding, developing cultivation of a sense of self. And in that process, you release what you thought you were, what you thought it was. At least that's how I've experienced it. But conveying that through my feelings, you're not going to pick that up. You're going to pick up the words and the loops of your own shadow. I speak a lot of things that other people, it brings a lot of pain to them. And I don't do that purposefully. It's who I am. Because I don't hide from the duality. Because when you face that, you got to see like how corrupt this world actually is. And it's not a pretty feeling. And it puts people more deep into the mind. Because when you analyze and you take in what it is out there, you have to try and make sense of it. And it doesn't make sense. And you want to figure out how to make sense of it and make it better. To rewrite the wrongs. But that's that stuck in the box thing. The gravity well of your relation, your objectivity is cultivated. Mm. So Gemini, Mercury is going direct here soon. Stationed right now. 15 degrees, basically 16 of Aries. Assessing truths and potential truths. Holding a conviction of something you know is a changing dynamic because you anticipate change in perspective in the depth of your own awareness. That's Gemini. It's a lot of nervous tension, a lot of anxious energy because there's a sense of learning as you go. In other people, they hold strong in their conviction, and you're trying to mirror what that is while you feel the change of reality, of mind in real time. And it is something most people can't handle. But if you want to get a handle on your transformation, scorpionic initiations, then you should look to what's rattling around the brain. What's the purity of your spirit? How do you feed into that? And how do you burn through it? In Aries here. That's Gemini to Aries, the sextile. Mercury starting to go direct now. If you have anything in Gemini, look at that and assess what that is. Remember, Gemini transforms Scorpio, and it works its transformation through analyzing the depths of emotional trauma. And it's not in the labels, it's in the feeling. And how best do you get that feeling out? That's why the hands are so active with Gemini generally, especially Gemini Mercury. So to understand it, you can look at the first square from Scorpio to Aquarius. Now, Mars is starting to be reignited here. Mercury is about going direct. Pluto will be going retrograde soon. I have some videos on that. Pluto to Mars stuff with the Venus connection. The messenger of the gods speaks of both good and bad, the devil, the angel. You have to know one to know the other. And the test is in the balance. Can you balance that in real time? You can, but it can't be done in the mind. It has to be done in the spirit, and that's where we bring it to form, do what we do. So channeling that kind of spirit, that energy, when I channel that kind of stuff, then the world out there does not affect me so much. There's this strange connection. I have to be affected by this world in order to speak, because otherwise I have no meaning. There's no reason. I have not found it yet. But I don't necessarily think that that's a good approach to take any longer. So, constructively creating things, whether in the mind to present, to share, or creative as in art, or building something, or gardening, or farming, or whatever. Or Reiki, I don't know, wherever you can use your hands, that's a powerful way to embody spirit into something, to put it ritual into life. Now, for me, I'm um, it's hard for me to ground myself in the details any longer. There's this Uranian resonance that's shaking us loose. At least it's shaken me loose, and I sense it in a lot of people through all the stuff that's been going on the past several years, but specifically the past few now, more so. And we're moving more to an automated type of a world, which is a interesting parallel. It's a natural parallel. So we don't have to fear change. We can work with it. How best can you work with it? How can you find the center of your own being and bring that forward into resonance with what might be in the future? We will be going through the trials and tribulations of that we've always gone through in the psyche, through holding our power, using our power as a societal extension into physical form. Will the victim become the tyrant? Will the martyr become the savior? Will someone step outside this, reach to a new plateau, and create a new paradigm, which is not just what it had been, but a mutated, evolved, cultivated, growing mythology? Where, yes, you might hold a truth, you might have a truth, but it is not the entire thing. It is not the we are all one thing. It's not meant for that. If you truly feel it, go with it. But I feel a lot of people cling to the we are all one thing to escape whatever it is they're chewing on. Because to truly feel and hold that, you probably wouldn't even know the words for it. Because you would have never sought that in this world. You would have just held it. Maybe it's a memory within us when we're young. Maybe it's beneath the shadow. In any case, student mind helps. When these mutable energies come up and they shake the cardinal fixed relation, the dynamic flow of energy, and they cascade into the brilliance of the 10,000 things, and psyche arises, then you'll identify what it is within you that's been denied and what you've allowed out. Maybe there needs to be a reversal of those energies or a release altogether. So to bring a good or a purity of spirit into Gemini, look at Virgo to help you to understand how your creative purpose potential can be put to service. You know, when you get up in the morning, if you don't take care of the body, you can't really put a lot of effort into the world. You have to do the bare minimum at least. So it starts with that, and you just, what are the things you can do to help you maintain and grow whatever that routine might be? So diet, exercise, sleep, and purpose. Can you find a creative purpose, even if it's only for yourself? You can embody that into this energy that you bring into this mercurial resurgence, a realization of your own passion and the power of your desires. Then you can balance like the past and the future, the good and the bad, the what you have been with what you could be. And then eventually you move on to something else because that no longer feeds the charge. But it's a process. All right, well, that's all I wanted to say. So thanks for listening, watching, and being